free. I'll kind of give you a brief on the day. Obviously, the speedway's getting going. Everything. We had a fun GP. Unfortunately, it was terrible. I was a little under the weather. It's probably the first race I missed in about 12 years. But I was just downtown in the hotel. But I said this month is way too important for me to be at the track and get somebody sick from our team or one of the drivers. So I said I'm going to stay home and just watch it on TV. And obviously, Mateus had a great day, finished fourth. And I was sitting there, I was like, well, if he wins, they'll probably never let me come back anyway. A lot of fun, but great to be back on the oval. I mean, that's what Indianapolis is all about. And, Tony, it's kind of funny. We don't look great on the speed charts, but when you come here, the no-toe. Obviously, everybody looks at the no-toe. It's hard. It's so hard to say. What I'd say is everybody is so close. And at the same time, some guys aren't even trying to do no-toe, so you're not sure where they are. And some guys are putting up mega laps with drafts and going 228. So it's kind of all over the place right now. But the one thing you know is if the drivers are comfortable or not. When they get out of the car here and they can smile, they're happy. If they get out and they're kind of halfway shaking, you got some work to do. So the drivers are pretty happy right now, and so that's a good thing.
I was just about to ask, how are the two drivers when they get out of the car?
Sure. No, everybody's pretty happy.
Good.
Tony's obviously pretty animated. You know when he's happy, you know when he's not happy. So this place is really in his wheelhouse. He's really comfortable here. He's like, I don't need to draft. I was kind of laughing with him. I said, if you go do 228, I'll buy you dinner. And he's like, oh, let me see. But he said, he knows where he's at. He knows the car's good. And that's a good part about having a veteran like Tony here. And that really helps Mateus out as well, because Mateus is kind of like, well, I think everything's fine. And Tony's like, well, what's it doing? And they talk about it. And Tony's like, that's okay. And you'll get used to that. So that's a really good thing, having Tony, to help the young kid also.
Well, that's something that you kind of always wanted to, that's a direction you've always wanted to steer AJ Foyt Racing into, isn't it? To have, a more experienced driver and then a rookie to kind of help coach them up.
For sure. No, I think that's a good way to do it. I think Ganassi's kind of doing it with Dixon and Rosenquist now. Yeah. Unfortunately, Rosenquist had a rookie lesson to take.
Sure did.
Big crash. Glad he was okay.
Joined a group of a lot of famous drivers who have put their mark literally at the INS.
Absolutely. I mean, it's. This place, look, a guy with experience like Fernando, even today with a big crash. This place, you have to respect Indianapolis, because everything happens so fast here at those speeds, and that's the thing. So with Tony, obviously he's a veteran, probably getting into that, maybe a year or two left. So we're not sure what he wants to do, but part of bringing him on was we want him to be a part of AJ Foyt Racing for a long time. Kind of like Dario. He's great with our sponsors. He's great with the team. Great with young drivers. So he kind of fits in the mold. Him and AJ get along great. They have a good time. So
he's great with the fans too.
He's great with the fans.
He is.
Exactly.
I think that was one of the loudest cheers I'd ever heard was in 2013 when he won the 500. I mean, he is just for somebody who's born in Brazil. You could almost call him a hometown hero here in Indianapolis because everybody just lost it when he took the lead and won. That was.
He's a lot of fun.
We're great.
As frustrating as this season has been, because last year, even coming out of the box, we were pretty competitive. St. Pete, Mateus started third, went to Phoenix, Tony was in the top 10. It just felt like we were where we wanted to be. It's always going to be tough when you're trying to beat Penske and Ganassi and Andretti. These are mega teams, super teams, and we're still on the small side, but we felt like we were doing a good job of competing. But you go down these paths of development in INDYCAR, and then you work all winter, and you're excited to get back to the track and see the results. And for us this year, it hasn't translated, is what we say basically. So that's frustrating, and that's frustrated all of us. We felt like getting back on the oval would be okay, but the road course stuff, we're kind of scratching our heads, and the engineers got to say, okay, where did we go wrong here, and let's get back to where we were.
Gotcha. Well, speaking of road course, I do want to talk a little bit more about last weekend.
Oh my goodness, yes.
So we have an off-the-books fantasy league. That is legal because it's not a game of chance because it's season long.
No, they passed that legislation. We're
exactly,
fine.
right? She's an attorney. Molly makes sure that I don't break the law. So anyhow, we had, strategically chosen our rookies. And so when Rosenquist got the poll, that's one of Molly's rookies this year. And so, you know, she said she's a very sore winner.
Yeah, I'm a bad.
She's a bad winner. So I thoroughly enjoyed that. We're giving grief to everybody else who lost that particular bet. And so we started talking about, you know, who we thought could give him a run for his money, because we thought he'd do pretty good. And one of our good friends, Kurt, is it's the only person who rivals Molly's dad for AJ Foyt fandom, AJ Foyt racing. I mean, they're all in all the time. And he said, well, I heard from a little birdie that Matt Lace loves the rain. Don't count him out. And I thought, okay, I've not heard this before. I'm into it. And I'll tell you what, Saturday showed everybody that Matthias Lace does in fact love the rain. He had a heck of a race.
He did. Well, really, you know, thinking back to St. Pete when we qualified third last year, his first INDYCAR weekend, that was kind of rainy conditions going into qualifying. He did a great job. So, man, and I tell you what, you should have seen those tires after the race. They were almost slicks.
Oh, I bet.
So that was, you know, obviously Pagano under braking. I was watching. I was like, wow, that's impressive what he's doing. And obviously ran Dixon down from, I don't know, 15 seconds or something insane.
With no push and pass.
Right, exactly. But really proud of Matthias. He needed that. I mean, the whole team needed it. It was a good shot in the arm for us coming into Indy. And no, he's a really good kid. He's so young. You think about it, he's 20 years old.
Yeah.
So he'd only been driving cars, I think. Well, we still can't rent a damn rental car. I always tell Tony, I said, Tony, you taking your son home tonight? He's like, Larry, I'm going to kill you.
You get the red car or nobody cars are down there.
So, I mean, it's crazy that he's just 20 years old and really only been, you know, these kids move up so fast now. They go karts, a couple steps of cars, and they're here in IndyCar. So, you know, he's just got the right head on his shoulders. So he's a good kid. He listens. He's not, you know, overly arrogant. He's just a good kid. You know, you hope he succeeds. He's got a lot of talent. So we're trying to get him the best cars we can.
That's awesome. Larry, I gotta ask real quick. So Molly and I, so we got a lot of INDYCAR Nation members here. Molly and I work with them. We have a podcast, Fast Cars, Fast Girls. Have you ever listened to it?
No, I'm going to have to check that out.
Okay, so the reason I ask is because, so here's the deal. So those of you who are members, or say if you're not a member, you can find some cool experiences, one of which being a hot lap. This gentleman right here.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Sonoma. You took me at Sonoma.
All right, raise your hand if you've had a hot lap from Larry Foyt.
Oh yeah.
Raise your hand if you thought you were going to die a little bit, but you didn't even care. You get your money's worth for the hot lap. And so my very first hot lap ever was with you at Gateway, and it was a private hot lap. And so the reason I asked is because I said that the first lap I just giggled like a schoolgirl. And by the time we got to the end of the first lap, I thought, okay, I have to say something. I look like an idiot. And I'm like, and I just turned and I said, Matt Lace seems like a good kid. So I just had to ask, since you said it a couple times, I thought, have you listened? Is this a joke? Because Molly was about to spit out her wine.
I was, yeah.
So,
It's a joke, but
I'm like,
I thought you were gonna kill sport. I'm gonna put
to be fair, it was not a great weekend, and I said, how's the weekend going? And it was poor timing on that question.
I blame
So,
her.
yeah,
No, the hot laps are fun. I know, I recognize, it's so great to see y'all, and I really appreciate it. Great when y'all ask for me too. It's a lot of fun, and good to see y'all when we do that. It's good fun.
Did you have to clean off the sink after you finished being an I just want to know.
How many times you had to clean out the car?
I came too often that weekend.
but yeah, no, you give a great hot lap.
Oh my goodness.
Okay,
I was told that you were also going to talk a little bit about wine too, since we're here at a winery. So.
And you're part
Yeah,
owner
talk
of this
about
winery,
wine.
correct?
So you gotta give us a little bit like
So the wine story.
Don't judge me for not drinking the red wine. It's just,
No.
which red do you have?
I drink it all. Well, this is the new TK wine.
I know,
This is
I know.
Let's see.
It kind of started as a joke between me and Tony, and I said, Tony, you got a lot of fans. We can sell some wine. You know, we kind of joked about it, and next thing I was like, for everything he's accomplished, and who knows how many more years he'd be around. I said, let's not wait. Let's try to do this. So I call, we produce everything in California. So I was talking to my people out there. I said, can we do this? I know we got to hurry, and they did a great job. We did this in a hurry, and it's just going to keep getting better. Fun bottle. We've got all his career highlights on the side, and then on the other side, we said, well, you know, a lot of our people that drink wine, they also are into wine. Let's put the wine highlights, you know. So then we put that on the other side. So it's a really cool kind of thing we did. The wine's been a lot of fun. I mean, this place has been a lot of fun. I got to say, Anthony and I started the wine thing. God, it's been 10 years ago now, and with just some help. I mean, we didn't have much money. We got AJ to invest in it. Ann Finaro invested in it with us. And, Ann's been, if you don't know Ann Finaro, Ann is the one who's kept AJ out of trouble for 30 years.
What about the 30 years before Ann got along?
Luckily, there wasn't much media back then.
Yeah, there was no phones on there, no camera phones.
That's
Yeah.
outside the statute of limitations. It's fine.
That's right.
You're a lawyer, is that right?
The lawyer has approved it.
It's good. We're good.
But no, the wine's been a lot of fun, and I would be like, well, AJ doesn't drink wine. I'm like, no, but Anthony and I do. And so we've got it. He likes some of the whites. He'll drink some of the whites. And it's been a lot of fun. He loves coming here. And the idea, even when we started, was we love drinking wine. Let's make wine. We like to drink. But every bottle needs to pay, we want AJ's legacy to live on long after all of us are gone. I mean, his accomplishments are unbelievable, and some of the younger generation that didn't get to see him race, we just thought this is a great way to keep this memory going forever. And so every bottle is named after a number that has some relevance to our family, mostly things he accomplished, and that's what it is. So it's fun to read the back of every bottle, and it pays tribute to him and all of his accomplishments, because that's why we're able to still all do this stuff. Obviously he's the one who had the success and made it possible for us to keep this team going and do all this fun stuff.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
AJ Foyt.
Now, I have to ask you a question, and to be fair, we didn't know that you would be here when I asked this question. So,
That is true.
does somebody have a copy of the menu near them?
Yeah.
Tomorrow, because this got asked a few times.
Yeah, okay, so
What out of this menu
now,
does he like
to be fair, we enjoy this menu, but we want to know, what does AJ eat off of this menu?
Probably none of this.
Okay.
That's true.
That's kind of our guess.
He'd probably like the pizza, but he'd say, what the hell's arugula?
Wait, are you sure you can say hell?
Yeah, well, when we started this, so honestly, we didn't really want to have much food. The idea was about the wine. I wanted a wine taster. There's a lot of old Indiana liquor laws that say you got to have a bunch of food.
You gotta have food.
So,
Wine and cheese started out.
yeah. So yes, we love our cheese and charcuterie plate, and that's the other thing. Food is hard just because we're not open for lunch, and so a lot of times it's just hit and miss, and so it's just a tough thing. But we love your feedback, so tell us what you like and don't like, and we'll try to get whatever you want here. It's a lot of fun.
Well,
Okay.
we appreciate
For
that.
all of it. What's your favorite wine you've drank so far?
Boy, it just depends on the mood. If it's something like, I love our Chardonnay. That's one of my favorite whites. I love the big cabs. I'm a big dry cab drinker. So I know Indiana palate is sometimes sweeter. So a lot of people are like, oh yeah, a lot of people are like, it's so dry, it's so dry. That's my fault, because I like the dry
Oh,
stuff.
no, that's why my mom loves this place.
No, I'm
Okay.
It could be 110 degrees. She will order a dry Merlot.
But what we try to do is, because really what keeps us afloat is the wine club. So having a lot of different varietals is why we're always trying to come out with new stuff, so that we have different offerings for the wine club members to try, and it's fun for our winemakers. It's fun for us. I mean, the rosé was literally born out of Speedway, because a lot of people want a white zin, and my winemaker was being a little stuffy. He's like, I don't make a white zin. I said, well, come on now, let's come on. What are you gonna do? He said, all right, I'll make a rosé out of Pinot. I said, good, let's go. So that's how the rosé. We call it the Speedway rosé, because that came from.
I like that. I had a biology teacher in college who one day wore to, which I was raised, like I said, my mother will drink a dry Merlot every day of the year. If she ever say, what do you want? You already know the answer, it's Merlot. And so he came into class one day with a shirt that said, friends don't let friends drink white zin. So,
But
if
you
you're a
know,
red wine drinker, you find that.
it is the highest selling wine in the United States of
I
America.
believe that.
And that's what a lot of top winemakers we talk to, they're like, I love making my whites in because it affords me to make the stuff I want to make that doesn't sell very well. So it's just part of the business, and it's a lot of fun, and it's a great popular wine. Yeah, great in the summer. So we're trying to figure out how to make it in a way
So
that
is a
we can-
rosé though. A rosé in the
A
summer.
rosé is great.
Oh.
Nice rosé is good.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. Even our Sauv Blanc is great in the summer.
Yeah, I'm drinking the Sauv Blanc right now.
Yep.
It is delicious. I had the Viognier earlier.
Cheers.
Great.
Good.
Well, let's move off racing and ask some fun questions, if that's all right.
Oh boy.
Okay, so.
She has a question back there.
Oh, okay.
So this is kind of an off-the-wall question, but I would love to know what the story is with that picture of AJ.
AJ and the lion. That's a great picture. That's a great picture.
The lion lost.
I tell you,
The lion lost.
I got to share a funny story real quick. We got our worst Yelp review one day. We got a terrible Yelp review, and I was like, "What's that for?" We started looking at it, and someone read, "I can't believe AJ must have done something mean to that lion for that lion to attack him." So we got a good laugh over that one.
That's why Yelp was the worst right there.
So the lion, from what I understand, and I've heard AJ tell it a bunch of times, and Ann, correct me if I'm wrong, was at DuQuoin. Correct, yeah. DuQuoin Speedway. The lion was a movie lion who was there in the infield just on this, so they brought AJ over to meet him. I guess he was a famous movie lion. He was on a chain. Well, something happened and the lion kind of startled. He jumped up and he broke the chain. So AJ, out of habit, turned to run. And the lion is basically trained to tackle you because it was starring in movies and that's what it do. So it went to tackle. The trainer said, "Don't run." AJ said, "Don't run." So that's what I understand of the lion story. So that's what. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I have a question. I've always been to the Speedway. I grew up here. I walked here when I was a kid. Grew up 2 miles away. But I've also been to Churchill Downs. Back in the day when Foyt Racing, AJ Foyt, if I'm not mistaken, you were involved in thoroughbreds.
My brother.
Your brother was. And I always bet a Foyt horse at Churchill Downs. And actually, I won a few bucks. I lost a few too, don't get me wrong. Is Foyt Enterprises and all still involved in thoroughbred racing?
Foyt Enterprises is not. AJ Foyt is.
But I've never seen a horse listed at Churchill.
So, actually, if you look over there, you can see we had a horse last year finish second at the Indiana Derby and went on and won the West Virginia Derby. So that was a big win.
Absolutely, yeah. I love horse racing.
So yes, Dad's always loved the horses. In fact, that kind of kicks off our May every year as we go to the Derby.
Right.
I started going with him about 10 years ago when I moved back to Texas because it's just a great time to see him. He loves the horses.
Right.
Like I said, my brother was a trainer. AJ Foyt was
So it's your
third.
brother, okay. I
Yes.
did not know who was actually involved in the
AJ's oldest son.
And
Yeah.
AJ Foyt statement.
He used to train them all, but AJ probably still has 30 horses, thoroughbreds, probably about 5 living in Kentucky that still train there. Just haven't had one to run yet on Derby Day in the last few years, but yeah.
Been a long time, yeah.
But yeah, he still loves them.
Yeah,
Loves them.
the leading up to the day before the Derby, there was always an AJ Foyt. I want to say the day before the Derby.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's when they run the mares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I always, the Oaks was just the mare race. That was the only race that day that was dedicated to the mares was the Oaks. That's a locals day.
Sure.
But I always bet AJ Foyt horses. And I can tell you, I won more money than I ever lost.
All
For a
right.
change. I lost on everything else, don't get me wrong.
Praying for everybody's drinks is what I just heard.
Yeah, I think that, the show was about everybody.
That's great.
Rick?
Larry, buddy, what is your absolute favorite road course to drive when you've got somebody in the car?
All right, so if you didn't hear it, Rayanne would like to know what Larry's favorite road course to drive is when he's got somebody in the car with him.
Wow, that's a good question.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure the answer is Portland last year with Molly and I. Going like this. I love you, this is right. And me thinking to myself, well, thank God the car in front of us is Gail from AMR in case we crash.
Boy, that is a tough one. Elkhart is fun. You got some long straightaways at Elkhart. It's fun.
Got some
Going
nice
back
benders,
down
you got
through
big
the-
straightaways.
It's a really blind corner, so you really have to know where
A
you're
lot of
going.
trees there.
That's what I'm talking about. With me not really racing anymore, or being around, and really I was an oval guy anyway. The first person who has to ride with me, I'm like,
Cheers to that.
yeah, I'm like, I hope you don't know, I've got to remember this course pretty quick here. We don't even get a warm-up lap. The first person hops in with it's like, okay, I'm trying to remember, just trying to think, okay, how deep can I go here? How deep can I go there? I should do that. Yeah. But we have a lot of fun with it. I mean, it is a lot of fun.
Well, that makes sense because I say every time we've gone, we've been on the last ride. So that explains why you were punching it. By that point, you're comfy. You know exactly how high, how low, where you can hit it. So.
It's a lot of trust. It's still, especially the street courses where you have walls all the way around you. It's pretty dangerous, It's just, But we stay in control, but it's fun. If you notice, sometimes you have to have little quick hands and things like that. And it's fun though. It's good fun. Get you going in the morning.
Absolutely. What is your favorite car to drive off the track?
Wow.
And we always say favorite, but neither one of us ever choose. So if you need to do like a top 3 or a top 5, that's acceptable.
Well, I drive an SUV, and I just had my first kid 3 weeks ago, so I'm not going back to that. AJ's never paid me enough to have a sports car. So.
Or a kid before now.
Now I have a kid, so those days are probably going in. I live vicariously through Graham and them on Instagram and see all their nice sports cars.
We all do.
So I don't get to drive that fast. If I have to get somewhere in a hurry, I can get there. But it's fun.
The SUVs are reliable though.
They are.
They get you where you're going.
Yeah, no different whatsoever. I have 2 vehicles. One is my fun 22-year-old BMW convertible, and then my other one is a minivan. Because we go to a lot of races and we camp out, and when I need a car, I looked at the options. I'm like, well, gas mileage, space. Yep, I gotta get the soccer mom van. You gotta do it. Yeah, it happens. It happens. Yeah.
It has, and I think it's gotten me once too.
Obviously, was an Andretti fan.
She asked if the name has ever gotten me out of a speeding ticket.
So he said it's gotten him out of one, and it's also secured one.
That was an Andretti fan, we've decided.
Yeah.
That was an Andretti fan. That happens. That happens.
Not everybody can be perfect.
I have gotten out of a few. A guy, I was pulled over once, even in Houston. This was surprising, and I'm on the side of the freeway, and he went back up, and he walked back, and he said, "You race NASCAR?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "I remember you." He said, "I can't write you tickets." I said, and then one day in Charlotte, I got pulled over. Kind of one evening, I was headed home, and then the cop kind of came up, kind of edgety, and I was like, "Shoot, I didn't think I was going fast." And he kind of said, "What? This, that?" And I said, "Can I help you?" He said, "Have you seen Junior?" And I knew he was looking for Dale Jr. Yeah, I don't know. I'm headed home. He said, "All right." I don't know what Dale had done that night. They were looking for him.
We got one right there.
Let's back up and talk about the baby, boy, girl, or
Yeah. Come on, you dance.
Yes, little boy. So I cursed him already. He's Larry Joseph Foyt Jr. So.
All right.
So my wife said, "No way, no go-karts, no nothing." I said, "Fine, we're not even a week old yet. Let's wait."
Let's not start saying things that we're going to regret.
And the first thing she buys him for his room is this little race car. That's mixed signals, right? So.
I said, I'll agree with you. I'm even a woman, and I'm like, okay, that's mixed. What are you supposed to do?
That's right. That's right. We'll see. We'll work on it. We'll get there.
We actually, friends of ours just adopted a baby a couple weeks ago, and the wife's sister made, they do like the diaper cakes and all that. Well, she did a diaper cake, but it was in the shape of an INDYCAR. And so, the wheels, inside, all this, and it was just diapers, but it was an INDYCAR, and they did like a little bit of colored cardboard around it, and it was the coolest thing I've ever seen. In fact, I was pretty disappointed because I have, working on my 8th, I have 7 active pieces of nephews, working on number 8, and I was like, I'm failing. I've never thought of this. Like, that was genius.
That's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it changes your world. I mean, I'm 42 years old, so late, but you're chasing the racing when I was young and moving in Charlotte. You're always on the road, and just finally you get older and you settle down. But it was funny because I've had to call a lot of my friends. I'm like, I'm so sorry, I haven't kept up. I didn't realize what a big deal this is. I'm always at the racetrack every weekend. I'm worried about that. I was like, when you go through this and the emotions of having a kid, it's obviously such a big deal, and really enjoying it, and a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
On the pecking order, what number grandchild is this for your mom and dad?
Wow, it's a good question. So, my goodness.
He's got to do math.
Anthony has 4. I think, Tony has 3 if you go that way. So I'm trying to, because I'm adopted by my grandma. So if you just go that way legally, so Tony has 3, Jerry has 2, Terry has 3. So 8, I guess.
Well, your
So
mother
number
must
9.
be, your mother
All
must
right.
be on top of the money.
Somebody check the math here, not me.
I know.
Somebody went to school. Somebody's got to, you're the senior.
I got the math. I got the math.
Somebody's got to
It's
get the
number
math.
9.
Yeah. 3, 3, 2, and yours. So yeah.
And is he forgetting somebody? Because that's important.
Yes, they didn't get them all in.
Well, it just gets confusing. I remember the first year I qualified for Indy, and Al Unser Jr. and I don't know if we were in a press conference together, and he sitting there, and one of the reporters like, okay, so you're a grandson, but you're a son, and little Al was, yeah, wait a minute, you're a grandson, and you're a son. So we were trying to talk about it. So just so you know, so I've lived with AJ ever since I was like 2 or 3 years old, and he adopted me. So just my mom had me when she was young, and then I just got attached to AJ and Lucy's, who I call my mom and dad. So they've raised me, so that's so I call them mom and dad. They adopted me.
Was your mom over the moon with the new baby?
Oh yeah, everybody's happy.
Everybody's healthy too, by the way.
Everybody's happy. Everybody's
Say mama made your home and healthy and all that good stuff.
Good job.
All right, round of applause for that. We all love happy, healthy mom.
All right. So one of the questions we really enjoy asking people is, what's something that you have, whether it be a special talent or a deep-seated, like almost
Like-
obsessive
Like
nerdy
a
love
fandom or
that people
a
just
random
don't know about.
skill, something that people don't know about you. Like I can wiggle my ears. We've found out many times because I've been overly shaved that Jack Garvey's a much bigger nerd than I am.
Wow.
Are you like a huge Game of Thrones nerd? I don't know. It's been
Do you play cards? Is there?
Do you play an instrument that nobody knows about?
I don't play any instruments.
That's an easy one.
Well, that's too bad because Molly and I would both sit down and play heart and
Yeah,
soul
we were like,
together.
let's go.
I grew up, really playing all the sports. It wasn't until about 8th grade I started thinking about racing, why I couldn't try it, and that's actually how I got started. It was, my AJ was like, no way, don't think about it, and Mom was like, well, you got to show him how bad you want it, and I was like, okay. So
Good on Mom.
Jack Starn, who was AJ's crew chief and been with us, we celebrated 2 years ago his 50th anniversary. Still with us, so I went to Jack at the shop. So he said, all right, well, here's the thing. After school, come in, you're going to clean the toilets, and then if there's any time, you'll start learning about cars. So yeah, that's how I learned. So then I guess he lent me some money to get a go-kart, and that's how I got racing. And then it just started taking off. But I mean, really, just into all sports. I don't know. I do.
Who's the teams you root for? How about that?
And that's changed a lot too. Obviously, now I'm a Colts fan. They did for it, right? So we're a Colts family. I mean, I was a huge Houston Oilers guy back in the day, who are the Titans now. So
I'm a Steelers fan, and you all can boo me. It's fine. I don't care.
yeah, I mean, it's hard. Once you get racing, it's so consuming. You just don't have much time for anything else. What I'd say what I love now, which I didn't really even care for until I quit racing and just had some time to myself, is golf. I really enjoy when it, like for AJ to clear his mind, he gets on the tractor, likes to work. I like to go play golf. It's just be with my buddies and play golf, and that's kind of how I clear my head, and that's a lot of fun. I hate
A
when
lot less bees on the golf course.
a lot less bees on the golf course. You're right. And yeah, so that's it. I mean, now the wine, other businesses, I think take a lot of my time now. I really like entrepreneurship, so I hope. God forbid someday if anything ever happens to AJ, I hope we keep the race team going on forever. But if we don't, I'm just always thinking about the future and trying to have other businesses that can keep us going. And he was always into other businesses. I think I took that from him. I mean, even when he was racing, he had the horses, he had the car dealerships. He was investing in the Astros at one time, had a piece of the Astros. He's great with land development. I mean, that's somewhere where he's really made a lot of money and done well. So. I really enjoy entrepreneurship and starting businesses.
That's awesome. Pretty cool. Yeah. Well, if there were ever a movie made about you, about AJ, etc., who would you want to play you in the movie?
Tom Cruise, duh. I don't know about the whole Scientology thing.
I was going to say pre or post jumping on the couch.
Yeah.
Like Days of Thunder,
So,
Top Gun,
yeah.
Tom Cruise.
Fun fact, Molly is an official suppressive person.
It's okay. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good answer.
Excellent
Yeah,
answer.
and I've
You know,
always-
that might be one of the best answers we've gotten, actually. I'll check it out.
I'm always wondering about AJ. Who would play AJ? Does anyone have any good ideas on that?
Yeah, wait,
Yeah.
this is a good one.
All right, who do you think should play?
Tommy Lee Jones.
That'd be a good one.
Wilfred
I used to
Brumley.
remember old Brian did.
Wait, say it again?
Did Brian die?
He's dead, man. He's gone.
Anybody else?
Wait, Chick, what'd you say?
Wilfred Brumley.
He's dead too.
Okay.
Tommy Lee Jones is still alive.
Anybody else got a better suggestion for who to play AJ?
Ooh,
Ooh, okay, so Matt Damon representing a young AJ. Okay. I like it. What now?
I'm here for that answer.
Yeah, I could see him picking up a socket wrench. I could see him picking up a socket wrench.
Yeah.
All right.
That was great. So.
Okay, well, I say we don't want to keep you for too much longer. Well, I say we all have wine, drink, and things to do, but we are going to make pull a few tickets, and got some raffle things, and then we're going to do a trivia question.